What is the most physically painful experience you've had? An ovarian endometric cyst rupturing. I remember taking about 10 minutes to crawl down the stairs to get to the phone so I could call my mom, 100% convinced I was dying. When my spinal cord collapsed down onto the nerves going to my legs, I legitimately wanted to die. Toss-up between kidney stones and appendix bursting. Wanted to die. Kidney stones. Had an abscessed tooth. For 2 weeks, my life was nothing but absolute misery, and nothing would kill the pain. At one point, the dentist had to drip numbing agents on the exposed root because it would not freeze, and that felt like a hot needle being jammed behind my eye. Cue a new dentist phobia that has me terrified to even call them when I know there's an issue. That time a neurosurgeon drilled out the base of my skull, installed a plate there, and then drilled holes in my top 2 vertebrae to connect it all. Excruciating pain for months, but the worst was the first 2 weeks. Any time the pain meds wore off, I was in hell. It felt like nothing I've ever experienced before or since. I became an animal. I wasn't capable of human thought or anything but screaming. It continued for a long time in a more muted way. When I tried to turn my head reflexively, when I accidentally shifted it forward. But the worst by far was when I tried to sleep because I had no control over my movements then. I just woke up screaming many times each night. There was no escape. I was tired all the time, terrified of falling asleep again but also terrified of every potential movement. I had a very secure neck brace on 24/7 for months, but nothing was enough to stop this pain. Receiving adriamycin chemo. The side effects made me wish for death at times. Twisted testicle. Edit. Wow. I didn't expect this to be such a common occurrence. Sorry you all had to go through that as well. When I was a kid I was severely ill with a virus which led to extreme dehydration. At one stage one couldn't hold down food or water for days. I frequently woke up with severe abdominal cramps, but one night I woke up and thought my head was splitting open with the worst migraine of my life. I was in so much pain that I couldn't stand or see. I just curled up and begged for the pain to stop. My father carried me to the doctors and my mother sat with me while the doctor told them it was just a virus and it will pass. The doctor had been saying this for nearly 2 months. My mother snapped and demanded the doctor to at least examine me and not dismiss me. The doctor quickly concluded my appendix had burst and to bring me to The second my father carried me into the nurse just took me to the back and I was rushed to ICU. Turned out the cramps were also from dehydration and the virus caused my lungs to collapse and gave me pneumonia. The headache and cramps was something I never want to experience again and make sure to find a way to always be hydrated. I was in so much pain I didn't even notice my lungs were failing. Shingles. I was 30. It's not just old people. I have cluster headaches. When it gets very bad I legit think about jumping out of the window. It's like someone stabbing your head with a glowing hot knife. And the best part is that you cannot really do something about it. Shattered my ankle getting hit by a car while walking. That wasn't the most painful part. Went to hospital to set it, cool. Was transferred to another hospital after a couple days closer to home. They took x-rays and realized the set was not good, so they had to re-break my ankle and set it correctly. That part hurt the most. I once thought I snapped my dick. The pain made me see a bright white light, then everything started to go dark and I thought I was going to black out. When I stepped on a nail sticking out of one of my stairs. Edit. This happened when I was getting ready for a baseball game when I was 7. I was cleaning a fish on a boat and I accidentally popped its bile sac. Squirted me right in the eye. For like 12 hours after it felt like my eye was melting and full of broken glass. Was so painful I spent the whole time screaming in pain uncontrollably. Since I was on a boat in the middle of the sea there was no access to medical help. So they just gave me a thing of eye drops and sent me back to work with an eye patch. For the next 2 weeks I could only see out of one eye and for some reason it was painfully sensitive to light. So I had to blink rapidly with my working eye while working my 18-hour shift while my asshole coworkers made pirate jokes about me. It was a bad trip. Perforated bowel. I perforated my eardrum in a waterskiing accident. Then I got the hiccups on the ride to the It's a tie between gallstones and gout. Broke my pelvis in multiple places. Read the wrong x-rays and sent me home. 3 days later, I finally got to ortho after begging, and they immediately started treating. My right leg was basically not attached due to how badly I was broken. Idiot doc said nothing wrong and gave me crutches. Just no. A massive migraine.